Greetings, friends. So, I wanted to make a different video this time. You're not gonna be seeing my face. I kind of don't want to show my face right now. I guess it's more of like a serious tone kind of thing. I was inspired by a YouTuber called Strategy. That's Strat Edgy. And you know, I'll link his channel. He made a video about a year or two ago of the video game Outer Worlds, but the way that he started it touched on some really personal matters. So I guess I kind of wanted to. I was inspired by some of the things that he said. And I kind of wanted to go ahead and I guess kind of do the same thing. But I wanted to use Borderlands as kind of my game that I want to talk about, and I guess a realization that I've had for it. I mean, opinions are subjective, and by no means is any opinion, no matter how confidently said or spoken, by no means is it like official. You know, it doesn't really matter if it's coming from someone of authority or just someone that has a really confident way of speaking. Opinions are just that. They're a collection of one's experiences throughout their life. You know, every individual that you'll ever meet is just a sum of multiple experiences and life choices. And that's who's standing before you. That's who's talking to you. So, when I hear critiques or hear critics talk about their favorite or maybe not so favorite video games, it sometimes is. And the same goes for any topic, even like political or religious. You're only getting that person's point of view based off of what knowledge they have chosen to present. Because we all have knowledge from many sources, but our brains are designed to focus on one particular thing at a time. It's just more efficient that way. It's a greater allocation of energy and resources. When you're trying to talk to someone about something that you're passionate about, your brain's only going to pull up so much from your memory in support of that thing or against that thing if you're passionately against it. And I go through a lot of I have a lot of reflective moments. Been through a lot of life changes recently. Divorced, living apart, separated, and then just like looking back through time and thinking, okay, where did I go wrong? Why did the things pan out the way they did? I mean, there's very obvious things that went wrong, but then there's some things that I didn't recognize, more subtle things that built up, or things that I might have been aware of, but it just didn't really click until it was over. And I think that the same thing can be said about, I guess, video games to an extent, in that you can have an opinion at one point in your life, and then it can alter and it can change. That no one person will always be that person. I mean, there are some things that will stay the same, but there will be things that change too. And it's important that in our relationships in life that we take the long view. If someone says something that triggers an angry response, well, feeling angry is natural, but you can choose what to do with that. And I know for me, my brain likes to have a yes and no, black and white kind of thinking. It is or it isn't. It doesn't like to make room for grace and mercy. But grace more specifically, maybe not mercy is not the right word. I think grace is the better word. And it doesn't give room for the fact that we're all human. And for me, having a relationship with someone, whether it's romantic or otherwise, it's difficult for me because of that grace. And I'm having to train my brain and tell it that, look, just because this person, because words are important to me, just because this person said this thing in this tone of voice, it doesn't mean it is what I think it is. It can be something else. And especially if it's like, it's like a phone call or something, you don't see their face. And you're certainly not there with them in person, so you can't pick up on what they mean. And in that moment, when I hear something like that, and it triggers an angry response, my brain locks up in defense, because that's just the result of my life and things that I've experienced. That's how my brain deals with trauma, or what it perceives as trauma, even if it's not even intended by the other person. That's what my brain wants to do. It wants to be defensive. It wants to. It locks up, and it's like all other functions cease, and now it's like a fight for survival for some reason. When there's no danger, when there's no real threat or anything, it's at those moments that my brain wants to make a threat. It picks out that target. And I don't know why it does that. I mean, I have ideas, but nothing I want to get into here. But it's taken me 36 years to realize that. And let me tell you something. Trying to change at my age is pretty damn hard. When you realize this kind of thing, and you realize that you've treated people that were important to you this way for a long time, and now, well, that relationship has been damaged or terminated or whatever, and it's humiliating. That's the kind of thing that I'm going through right now. So with that said, looking at Borderlands, I feel the same way with game franchises that I've kind of stuck around for a little too long. In that they my purview of them is a bit more mature. There's more understanding now that I've kind of observed what the companies are doing, and of the companies that made these games, I kind of want to look at things of, okay, why did they make these choices? These people, the people that wrote Borderlands 3, for example, they're not evil people. They're not villains, and there's... and not to say that I haven't thought this. I mean, I've genuinely thought of them as like enemies or something. And they're not. The writers of the game have been given a massive franchise with a lot of expectations from a lot of fans. But because, like all things in pretty much any industry, once you get to a certain size, there's certain concessions you have to take in order to keep jobs and to stay relevant and to, save your own skin sometimes. So, as much as I want to critique Borderlands 3, mainly for its story and the choices made, which I still don't understand and I'm probably going to rant about, I just want to say that I am not a writer, at least not of video games. I mean, I kind of write, but as an amateur. And while it is easy to vilify the people that wrote this stuff, we shouldn't do that. Because they are people like us. And if we were put in their position, under the kind of pressures that they're under, probably would have made the same, if not similar, choices to survive. Because what probably started as a curiosity, passion project has turned into a worldwide phenomenon. And the same goes with Star Wars and the, other big Hollywood hits, is that it's turned into something way more than the creators really could have perceived. And now they're just kind of stuck with this thing, but now there's more hands in the pot. There's more people to please. So when I critique this, just know that it's from the understanding that human beings, just like you and just like me, wrote this thing and created it under unique pressures and circumstances. And it's okay to critique. It's okay to express our grievance. But we need to do so with compassion and patience for the individuals responsible. We need to do it with love. Because we ain't perfect. And we need to understand that no one is perfect. And no, our standards for what a thing should be is not a justification for vilification. Let us keep in mind that we all breathe the same air. We all wish the best for our children's future. And we are all mortal. This kind of went in a direction I didn't know really where this was going to go. This is all improv, uncut, except my Pro Tools did cut out, so I can't help that. But there are some things I want to say about Borderlands, but I don't think that I will be getting to it this evening. Because this was pretty much like my other videos. It's kind of off the cuff. But I knew that I needed to say something because I'm finding that I have peace when I speak. If I speak controlled, if I speak with a certain divine poise. So if no one's saying it to you, I love you and I hope that you have a wonderful day. This is Preston signing out. Peace.